Great news, because we're going to get an extension of what you guys saw in the product keynote by this wonderful conversation about where Studio and DaVinci are going over the next 6 to 12 months, and that's going to be provided to us by our VP of Engineering, Aaron Roffel, and our VP of Product, Ben Morley. So let's please welcome them to the stage.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ben Morley. I'm joined by my friend, Aaron Roffel, and we are going to talk to you about where the product is going. I'll say before Aaron and I get into if you're looking for something to do for the rest of the afternoon in terms of what sessions you're picking, this is kind of a theme for the rest of the day. So if you're interested in tactics, there's a session on tactics right after this in Studio. If you're interested in AI personalization and where we're going with that, there's a session later, and there's a session on mobile as well. Those latter two are in the next room over. So let's kick it off. Aaron, you want to tell us where we're headed?
So Brian presented this vision this morning during the product keynote, and he showed some of the features that we've recently shipped or went live just this week. AI-powered experiences is core to the product that we're building today. And Movable Ink's philosophy here is marketer and machine. We want you to be in control, to be able to manage the brand voice, but to be able to leverage all of the power of AI to create really personalized experiences.
Yeah, and when we talk about one-to-one infinite content, we have two products, and we're really thinking about both of them. From Studio's perspective, we're talking about you being able to bring data together from a variety of sources, taking that data with the power of your creative and creating that one-to-one personalized for every person in your list. On the DaVinci side, with an AI curated journey for everyone, you're thinking about every send I do can have millions of variations.
And it's all about the content. And so we want to elevate your capability of measuring the performance of your creative with AI-generated creative insights.
And it's all powered by philosophy of being vendor agnostic. We know that your tech stack needs to change. We know that you need to be adaptable. So we've built everything in a way, whether we're talking about integrations with some of the great partners that are here today or stuff that you're building yourself, that you can always connect to Studio and DaVinci.
So Movable Ink delivers product using 2 releases per quarter. That's approximately a release every 6 weeks. I know we're delighting our customers when they tell me, hey, I just noticed that this change happened. This saved me so much time, or this is a great new feature. It's a pretty intense way of delivering product, but it means we're quickly getting feedback on the features we're delivering, and we're working together with our customers to make them better and better.
Yeah, and speaking of working together, there's some things that you can count on with every one of these releases, right? One of them is that anything big that we do has gone through an early adopter program. You heard Julie from Southwest Airlines here in this room before lunch talk about that, which was great. But every big feature goes through this group that raises their hands and says, yeah, we want to test this with you. We want to make sure that it's getting what we need out of it, and it really helps us make sure that feature goes through a process where it's then ready for everybody. Along with that process of getting it ready for everybody, when it is ready for everybody, we've got a great team that puts out learning content, the support documentation that you can rely on. And then lastly, Product Advisory Council is a separate group that we spun up a couple of years ago. And they're really kind of our strategic roadmap advisors, thinking 12 and 18 months out, where they're talking about their business and where the product might head to help them solve long-term problems. We are looking for members always in both of those. So if you see me or you see Aaron or anybody in the product team and you're interested, grab us.
So Studio and DaVinci both share the same set of roadmap themes for 2024.
So integrations, we talked a lot about data. On the Studio side, we are really focused on making it easier for you to connect any system in your stack and being able to do that so you can get started with ideas and start building faster. On the DaVinci side, of course, more ESP integrations.
One of the big themes this year is to improve the ability for you, the user, to use the platform in a completely self-service way. So on the DaVinci side, we've added an entirely new audience builder that allows you to do real-time counts for both reporting using segmentations and for audience targeting. On the Studio side, we're introducing these new out-of-the-box use cases known as tactics with managed deployments that allow you to get started fast and iterate quickly.
Yeah, and in that self-service theme as well is really the ability for you to quickly be able to get answers to questions about how things are performing in both products so that you can learn from it and so you can push your marketing programs forward.
We're also building these very compelling in-app experiences via the Studio platform. You'll be able to have multiple clickable elements, and you'll be able to have very interactive experiences like scratch-offs and polls. On the DaVinci side, we've added an entirely new unslicer that allows you to take the many images that come out of a creative composite and automatically arrange them into an HTML table.
Cool. All right, let's talk about integrations. Later this year, this is just getting started with some new partners in data warehouse space, but our package integration gallery will go into early access very soon. And the idea here is just helping you be able to point and click your way into more data that's available in Studio for content creation. We are really excited about the data warehouse vendors being a part of this as well. They've been great partners. So that's a big thing for 2024 for us as well. And then lastly, we have a lot of different integration patterns that we support based on what your business needs are. So connecting data at open time is part of what you do with Studio, of course, but then also streaming data to us, getting data back out so it can ship into your data warehouse or some other place where you want to run analytics on it. Those will all be supported through the gallery, and we'll kind of iterate on that throughout the year. What that actually ends up looking like from a timeline perspective, so you see on the screen our next two releases that Aaron talked about. In June, Databricks and Snowflake and Redshift integrations to those systems all become available. In August, the gallery is going to go into early access to those folks who are part of our early access program. And then later this year, we go to 85 and beyond, where all the patterns are supported.
I'm really excited to tell you about the new audience builder within DaVinci. Using a very simple UI, you can build audiences for both targeting and reporting off of your own data. You can combine different rules. You get almost instantaneous counts, and that allows you to really tailor those audiences to meet your business needs. One of the things that we've observed with audience builders out in the market is when you need to change some of the criteria, sometimes you're forced to go into tens or hundreds of audiences to update them. And so in DaVinci, you actually get the ability to compose these audiences when you build your campaign. The other exciting feature is this concept of audience splits, where you want to basically refine an audience even further. Maybe you want to refine across your loyalty tiers or across your division preferences, et cetera. And you'll be able to do that with a single click. And again, you get real-time counts on the audience splits as well. So Audience Builder is actually available in the platform now, and you can begin to play around with it. There are some prerequisites to getting set up, but the product enablement team could help you get it off the ground. In the summer, we're going to be adding the ability to actually tag records on your contacts table and then build audiences around those tags. So contact tags allows you to build audiences that are more ephemeral, that are one and done. Maybe you want to target a list of customers who've installed your app in the last 2 weeks, and you're bringing in a CSV file that vendor shipped to you. But you don't want to build an attribute that's going to live in the platform permanently. So audience tags is meant to support that. And then finally, in September, you'll be able to bring in supplemental data, including one-to-many data. And so this will allow you to do things like bring in serialized coupon codes and substitute them into your messages.
Cool. All right, let's talk about tactics in Studio. When I think about the inspiration for this, I kind of think about two things. One was, when we hear a big theme from customers that we hear is we need to be able to move faster. We need to be able to ideate faster. And we need to be able to do that in a way that lets us learn from those ideas and then keep pushing the program forward. That's definitely one aspect of it. But then as I stand here, I think about things that we hear about what's great about this conference, which is that learning from other customers, and how do I know what more I can do with Studio that I might not know about today. And Tactics is really inspired by that as well. It's really bringing almost the experience of this conference into the product. So that discoverability, being able to see the use cases that you can get live with in Studio is all part of this. And then on top of that, the ability for you to collaborate with your team, and as importantly, when it's out in market, you being able to get those self-service reports and analytics that can then help you continue the ideation process and push your program forward. Where we're going maybe next is if we think about Tactics as a platform for you to continue to create with, we've heard, look at the out-of-the-box workflows are going to help us with discoverability, but how might you also help us with the way our organization looks? How might those workflows for how we might bring something to market match how we need to go through approvals and how our creative team works and how we do testing in QA? So there's going to be some flexibility in the future around that. And then lastly, down the road, we think about, all right, how do we make that simple for you to plug into your ESP? From a timeline perspective, our first customers are getting their hands on this release, so it's really imminent. We're really excited about that. In August, the broader early access program begins. So we'll go from the first set to 5 to 10, and we'll continue growing it throughout the year. Really the goal for this year is to continue to add to the gallery based off of the feedback you're giving us about what use cases you want to launch and the list that we've already gotten from our product advisory council. So that's where we'll be, and that's what we're building towards for tactics for the rest of the year.
So on June 24, we're releasing an entirely new interface for reporting. This includes a lot of your table stakes reporting, like campaigns, your segments, your experiments or your A/B tests that you're running. But the thing I'm most excited is the ability to report on your content. So in DaVinci, content lives in the platform and gets sent over time. And so you'll be able to see how often that content is being placed in emails, how many impressions it's getting, how many click-throughs, how many conversions, how much revenue is generating. But I think most interesting is we're actually using AI models to score that content. And so you can see the quality of the content relative to everything else in your library. You can even filter it down to certain segments, to certain tags, and look at how that content performs relative to the other creatives that are tagged with the same tag or that are featured to the same audiences. The real opportunity here is you can jump into the platform in self-service. You can download reports. You can create saved views so that when you step into your so you can return to your regular reports. And beginning June 24th, you'll be able to access all of these features. Later this summer, we're going to be adding the ability to create more complex filters, including looking at how content performs when it is featured above the fold versus below the fold. And then towards the end of the year, we're adding even more customization with various configurations. So you'll be able to set what standard do you have from a statistical significance perspective or confidence interval perspective. You'll also be able to begin reporting on how your segments perform over time, so relative to one another.
Cool. Just curious, by show of hands, how many folks, in addition to email, have mobile marketing in their purview? Anybody? Yeah, okay, cool. So like at least a quarter of the room. We are really excited about what's happening in mobile marketing. We're really excited about what's available now. We just had our first 2 customers go live with what we're calling interactive in-app messages. This is really for folks who do own a space in your mobile app. And for you to be able to bring the full power of Studio into what you can do in-app marketing. So multiple clickable elements, bring video, bring some of the gamification that you do and elsewhere fully into app. And as importantly, the app experience is a little different than email. Obviously, you've got a user experience that's different. This is really going to perform, and it's going to meet the user experience needs that you need for your in-app marketing. Time frame. This is available now in early access. So we've got a number of customers that are participating in that. It's available to folks who are running Braze, who are just running our SDK. If you just have our SDK, that's all you need. And then also Salesforce Marketing Cloud. We have Airship on track for the September release. And then in Q4 and beyond, we start taking these and building them into everything we're doing with tactics. So that gets really exciting and kind of seeing in the tactics gallery that you have that shows all of your in-market tactics, but then also the out-of-the-box library that you can kind of see, all right, show me what I can do with Movable Ink and mobile in-app. Show me what I can do with Rich Push. Show me what I can do with email, and giving you that discoverability experience.
So we've made some very substantial improvements to how you manage creative within the DaVinci platform. The first thing is probably our most requested feature. So a lot of customers will build their creative inside of software like Photoshop or Figma, and then export those as image slices. And then they need to reassemble them inside of an HTML table, and it requires a lot of work. One of the biggest requests we had is the ability to split a column into 2 rows. And so we've added that support. but we took it an entirely step further. Now what you can do is you can drag a whole folder full of images that can be of various sizes, and the platform will actually understand how they're supposed to be assembled. It'll put them all in the layout in the right order and in the right position and generate that table for you. We've also completely rebuilt the Creative Index page. This is actually launching in on our June 24 release in our new InkUX design system. This is making it a lot easier to report on your content that's available in your library, bring back expired creatives, et cetera. So it's really exciting to have it finished later this month.
I found the button.
Thank you. So actually the bulk image uploader tool is already available, and you can try it if you have access to the platform. As I mentioned, we'll be rebuilding or releasing the rebuild of the Creative Index page in the June 24 release. And then the other thing I'm really excited about is once you get all this content loaded in your system, managing the links, managing the alt text, managing all of the metadata that's required for your ESP can become quite cumbersome as you're having to navigate back and forth between all of these forms. And so we're building a spreadsheet mode of all of these assets to allow you to quickly edit or even copy and paste things to other slices within the same layout. So that'll be a really exciting feature that we're working on, hope to release late this year.
Cool, that's it everybody. Like I said, if you liked the product's roadmap here and you're interested in anything in specific, the next few sessions will cover that, both in this room next and then in track 1 later on. And lastly, if anything that you have questions about or feedback for Aaron and I, we'd love to chat with you. But thanks.
Thank you.